the Arctic. Once a pristine, icy realm of unprecedented international cooperation is now becoming a battleground for influence.
But we need Greenland for national security purposes.
Разумеется, в случае милитаризации Гренландии, создания там военных потенциалов, нацеленных на Россию, мы примем адекватные контрмеры.
The US ambitions to take over Greenland have reignited the debate over the entire Arctic region. Should it be free of geopolitics?
For the Arctic, does that mean the age of innocence is over?
I think the age of innocence is over, this idea of exceptionalism.
But while the Greenland issue seems to be settled, at least partially,
We probably won't get anything unless I decide to use excessive strength and force, but I won't do that.
The question about independence, it's not today. Maybe in when we are not here anymore.
the issue of Arctic security is not going anywhere.
Everything is boiling over to the Arctic, but I would also say it could happen there, it could start there.
NATO has no choice but to rethink its approach to the region.
It was crucial that we do more, which is why we have just 2 hours ago launched Arctic Sentry.
I can announce today that the UK will deploy our carrier strike group to the North Atlantic and the High North this year.
But is that enough to deter Russia? What's Europe's role in securing the Arctic? And could we really observe a direct confrontation on the ice? We are answering these questions now. The Arctic was always a region of immense strategic importance, for one simple reason: it's the shortest way for Russia to strike America with nuclear weapons.
The threats are real. Plus, the North is obviously an early sentinel for any ballistic missiles or now hypersonic missiles coming over the top of the world. We have to have a security architecture in place that defends, detects from Alaska all the way through Canada, Greenland, into the Nordics and into Europe.
While that has always been the case, the now increased presence of Chinese icebreakers and the Russian military in the north is raising the stakes. And as hard power takes precedence over diplomacy in 2026,
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran.
middle powers need to adapt or be left behind.
Let me be direct. We are in the midst of a rupture, not a transition.
Right now it's shifting. Let's be honest about it. That's how it is.
NATO's response to this new world order and tensions in the north is a brand new mission called Arctic Sentry. And it's more than just a fancy name.
Is this just a rebranding exercise of existing efforts? Or if not, what is new about it?
What is really new about it is that for the first time now we will bring everything we do in the Arctic together under one command. And by doing that, we have seen the same in the Baltic region, we have seen the same when it comes to Eastern Sentry. We will not only be able to leverage what we are doing much more effectively and having a bigger impact, we will also be able to assess which gaps there are, which we have to fill, and of course we will fill them.
And that's where Europe comes in.
Very interesting geographical fact is that the Baltic Sea, Poland is at the south of the Baltic Sea, we live up in the Barents Sea, the Arctic, but all the landmass between us is now NATO territory. And if you want to sail out from Russia or send anything by ship or submarine, you either have to go to the Bosporus, where we have NATO on both sides, or through the Baltic, or through the Barents Sea or the Arctic, and we are on 2 of these 3 outlets.
Norway is the northernmost NATO member on the continent, so we take a trip to Setermoen to meet up with the Norwegian army. How exactly NATO keeps the Arctic secure? That's how. That's a Leopard 2 tank of the Norwegian army, as we are here in the north of Norway. They are heading to an exercise. This is one of the ways that NATO is being kept secure. And this impressive machine you will see not only in Norway. Leopard 2 German tanks are also used by Poland and many other European countries, as they are now increasing their defense spending because of the very big threat that for Europe is Russia. Russia's invasion of Ukraine is about to enter its 5th year. While it's the single biggest threat for European security since the Second World War, it is also the best source of practical knowledge for NATO troops.
We've had several briefings and conversations with one of the brigades in Ukraine, learning from their experience on the battlefield.
These discussions have a clear impact on how NATO approaches defense. Drones have completely reshaped modern warfare, and that hasn't gone unnoticed by European armies. Are you investing in drones as well?
Yes. So for this exercise, this is the first time that we've implemented UAVs down to the mechanized infantry, and they're utilizing this during the exercise for reconnaissance purposes.
But drones can both be a weapon used on the front lines and a tool for hybrid war. In late 2025, the airport in Oslo had to temporarily close due to a suspected Russian drone violating its airspace. It's one of many examples of tangible threats currently coming from Russia in the region.
It's a broad range of activities to try to collect information about the different countries, but also to use that information against us. So you can see different types of information campaigns, disinformation campaigns, influence operations.
So these Arctic tensions are not made up, they're very real. Then there is Russia's Shadow Fleet, old tankers used to circumvent Western sanctions. It's both a security and environmental threat.
The infamous Shadow Fleet, which I prefer to call clunker fleet. Because shadows are harmless. But a fleet of very old tankers that don't fulfill technical criteria is a present danger to the ecosystems and to our finances, quite frankly.
That's why Norway will be kicking off the Arctic Sentry mission with the cold response exercises in March. Approximately 30,000 troops from more than a dozen NATO nations will be training together in the Norwegian tundra. But security is more than just fighting on the front lines or big guns. It's also about saving lives. We are here at a field hospital in the north of Norway, and this is where the Norwegians are training the Americans, the British and the Germans to teach them how to save lives in these harsh winter conditions. First, we are heading to a big field hospital module of the Norwegian army. So we are currently in a field hospital of the Norwegian army. It is quite warm in here, as it has to be because of these harsh winter conditions. This is crucial for the survival of soldiers, and what you can see right now happening here is a simulated surgery. So let's go in and see what's going on. So here we are met with Martin. Martin, can you tell us what's going on here currently?
Right now we have a seriously traumatized patient, which we are taking inside our trauma bay, emergency room here at the field hospital, Roll 2. One of the most important things we have here is warm. So if the patient gets cold, gets hypothermia, they die, most likely. So we try to keep 28 degrees Celsius inside the whole hospital the whole time. So we have 12 petrol-driven ovens around the whole. So we use 1,000 liter of petrol.
The Norwegians have unique knowledge on operating in Arctic conditions, and they're happy to share it with other NATO troops, including the Americans.
So are we getting hypothermia, cold injuries, how do we prevent that, and just degradation in human performance related to the Arctic environment. There's also equipment issues. Hey, is this battery still going to function in this? Is this medication going to freeze? Is this liquid going to freeze? Is it going to survive a freeze-thaw cycle? And then how are you able to act wearing all the extra gear you have to do just to stave off the cold?
And the Germans. Most of the communication is in English.
Our massive bleeding is treated with a tourniquet.
To train working together with different nationalities. All of these exercises not only prepare the soldiers, but are also meant as a message to NATO's biggest adversaries.
I think one of the most concerning changes in the security situation has been the growing collaboration between Russia and China in the Arctic. So all of those things are constantly in our crosscheck, and we're constantly trying to enhance our posture and think of ways that nations can enhance our posture in the Arctic.
Will this be enough to deter Moscow and Beijing? A lot will be riding on the response from Europe.
If we want to find a zone of power balance again, it requires the European Union, and I would also say Canada, to be an actor and not the meal on the menu. Then the other ones would tear us apart.
It's difficult to predict whether Russia would actually risk a direct confrontation with NATO in the north. For now, the chess pieces are moving across the board. And if Moscow does try anything, NATO seems ready to respond.
From Norway, Kazimierz Łysiak, TVP World.